All right, hello everybody. This is a very different COTR Twitch session. We are going to do some deck building. We got a lot of nice comments, positive feedback from the Mono Tactics build we did in our attempt to win, which we did not, but I think we can improve it. But people said, let's do lore, so we're doing lore. So here's lore. So we are going to be attempting to basically deck build 4 lore decks, which is it's quite the endeavor, and it's not easy.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun though. It really is. It really makes you look at deck building in a much different way. With me right now is the Wandering Took.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Mike. Mike.
Lore
right?
is yeah.
Okay.
Lore's a lot of fun. It's not a sphere I usually build that heavily, but doing this monosphere challenge has just been interesting, right? Because you see how versatile lore really is. It's got its weak points, but man, it's got a lot of answers for things.
It's got more answers than tactics, I think.
Yes.
It's got
Yes.
more answers, and it's got I don't know. It's got like
I feel like it has more options.
diversity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is good. which is gonna be extremely helpful. It also has healing, which is a thing that
Hooray.
you tend to want to see. So I guess I'll just start talking about the decks. There's other people are going to be joining, and then I guess I should say in Discord, if you want to join and you want to basically give your input, you can hop into Discord and hop into the Octagon channel, and you can talk. Like, it's an open mic, because it's going to be hard for me to follow the chat while I have this screen up. And
I'll do what I can here to follow.
okay, so if you want to hop in and talk, that's great. If you just want to even be in there and just mute yourself, you can as well. I guess that might screw up your listening though, because you'd be hearing it twice, so you'd have to mute one or the other. I don't know. I didn't think about that. Typical COTR, where we didn't really plan it out too good, so it's up to you. But anyway, I wanted to open this up to anybody and everybody that wanted to help with the thanks, Stokes. The
Look at
upcoming mono lore fiasco going on right meow. All right, so with that being said,
I think a good place to start. Are you showing off your deck list?
yep, you should be able to see them.
Let's post a link in the channel too. If you'll do that.
Oh, that's all. You got that?
Yeah, I'll get that.
Okay. So the first challenge, of course, is choosing your 12 heroes, which is not as easy as you would think, because you're trying to consider threat, you're trying to consider what each hero brings to the board, and like, for example, Lore Glorfindel isn't on here. Now, he's not a great hero, of course, but he does have Asphaleth. And I kept trying to fit him in, but his 12 threat was really throwing me off, because no matter where I put him, it was throwing my threat off. So I'm like, well, okay, maybe I can't have him. And then Aristor, also very, very good, but I couldn't get him to fit in where I wanted. So these are the 12 heroes I picked, and the reason I picked them, one of the reasons, is each deck has a Sylvan or a Noldor, which is very important because that allows us to run 12 copies of Lembas. And Mike, what can Lembas do that basically no other lore card can do?
Ready.
Readying. That's a thing.
Yes, we do have 3 times Wingfoot. But yeah, that's apparently, I didn't see the last Twitch, I was away, but I believe that's kind of what killed you guys, is your action advantage hadn't really hit the table.
Yeah, one of the reasons we lost, there was quite a few reasons we lost, but one of them was this one round, we had it all set up, and then it revealed a treachery that said everybody has to exhaust the characters, or characters couldn't ready, or it basically took away like a ton of action advantage, and we had no way to get it back.
Right. Since we're talking about heroes, it's a good time to bring up Pippin and Bilbo are in here, and I know some people say bad things about Bilbo. I really like him as a hero. Yes, he's less useful in 4-player, but he's a hobbit, and hobbits have good meal, and that is awesome in a sphere where resource acceleration just isn't a thing. And it's also interesting.
Well,
Hey guys,
it's oh hey, who we got?
oh, he's muted.
Who just? Oh, he muted himself. Why'd he do that?
Well, I also noticed that Bilbo and Pippin are in different places because originally you'd thrown Pippin in with the Haldir deck,
Right.
which I believe was an attempt to bring the threat down.
Correct.
But then you got to balance that with the fact that you're not drawing cards because that deck doesn't want to engage things, which is what Pippin really likes to do.
Exactly.
So,
And I also had Thurindir, I think, in a different deck, so I was trying to put enough low threat. How you doing, Dave H?
Hey, I'm doing well, Chad.
Good.
I'll be in a minute. I might be listening in. I just got to get some stuff set up, okay?
That sounds
Yeah,
fine
no
to
problem.
me. So,
All right.
one of the main events that Good Meal is going to be paying for is Gildor's Council. Reveal one less card from the encounter deck this phase. Costs 3, but with Good Meal, that's only a 2-er. And you can't really complain about that.
that's amazing. That's just an amazing card.
Yep.
And Lore has always kind of been on the sidelines, this wonderful support sphere. And it's really interesting what you can do when you have 4 Lore decks together. Because are we running 6 or 9 of these? Okay, we're running 6, right? Because the resource cost.
Right.
But
So,
yeah.
I guess right now, before we get into it, let's talk about our self-imposed rules. Well, they're more like guidelines. So, our rules are choose 12 heroes of the same sphere, and then any abilities on the heroes you can use. So Elrond has the ability to pay for any sphere allies. That's just one of his benefits. The same would go probably for Amarthiel, Herluin, Kael. Was it Balin? Is he the dwarf that gets the tactics?
Owen.
So, I mean, that's just one of your benefits of running that hero. So I don't think I don't think anyone should really give us too much crap about that.
No, and it's not like we're running a deck that's all tactics and spirit. We just got a couple sprinkles here and there.
The other rule we have is no songs that grant a sphere icon. So we're not doing that. Let's see. If
Storm comes.
Storm comes.
I believe we banned the Storm comes.
Oh, right. The side quest that lets you
Yeah.
basically play any ally of any sphere. Yep, we're not doing that to try to keep it monosphere as much as possible. If you have an attachment that grants you a different sphere icon, that's okay. So Vilya, Clibrian Stone, Sword that was broken, but you have to be able to get it into play somehow. So, like for the tactics one, we had Hairgrim and Snowmane for Theoden, because those are his special weapons, and we paid for them with a good harvest instead of a song. So, we don't have to have those cards in there, but I don't think it's that big of a deal if we pay for it using a good harvest, and it's a hero's specific horse and specific sword and stuff. So those are kind of our rules. We're trying to keep it as mono as possible. And what I got here is my attempt. So what we're going to do tonight is basically smith these, like edit them, try to fine-tune them. So let's talk about cards I have 3 of in every deck. I have 3 Mithrandir's Advice, which just makes sense. 1 resource to draw 3 cards. Every deck also has 3 copies of Keen as Lances. And that is because of what I like to call Raziel's events. Doors closed, none return. So how many copies?
And leave no trace.
And leave no trace. Where's that one? Oh, there it is.
So
There it is.
I'm seeing 6 copies of leave no trace.
Yep, and there should be 6 copies of none return.
And then
Because
3 of doors closed.
yeah, because these ones have the sorry, I'm just reading something. These have the limit of 3 copies in the victory display, so it really doesn't make sense to run more than 6.
Right.
Because they're just going to become Protector of Lorien fodder at that point.
Yeah.
So once you get 3 in there, it's a dead card. So Keen as Lances is basically discounted Gandalf, and it's gonna be amazing. I cannot imagine a scenario where this card is not gonna be one of the MVP cards.
For sure.
Because
For
it's going to be free very quickly. And every time you draw it, you're either basically getting a Steward of Gondor for a turn, or you're reducing your threat, or if you need it, draw the cards. So that is a
Am I correct?
What's that?
No limit on the number we can put in the victory display either, Chad?
Correct.
Excellent.
Correct.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Oh, hello, the Red Eagle. And Chris Jackson. The door is closed, so Chris Jackson's wondering why he doesn't see as many. That's one of the things we can talk about.
Yeah,
Do we need more?
It depends on what quest we're playing as well, and what we plan on doing with the other ones. Doors closed can be useful in some, but not in others. It depends if we go up against one that has those singleton bad events, like Sleeping Sentry.
Yep.
In that case, door closed isn't as useful. Or if we go against a quest that tends to recur stuff out of the discard pile, I actually find doors closed is not that useful because you end up pulling stuff back right away.
Sure. So speaking of quests, the 2 quests we're going to go up against is we tried to pick quests that are kind of more testy quests, like quests you would test a deck against, because obviously this isn't going to be able to take on Card Doom or Storm on Corvus Haven or something. So we're going to play Escape from Umbar because it's new.
It's a good one.
And then we're going to go back and play Journey.
Great.
Because everyone tests their decks against Journey, so we might as well test our deck against Journey.
Sounds good.
And if we beat
That's a great idea.
If we beat those 2 quests, it doesn't really mean that these decks are amazing, but we beat those 2 quests. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I think if we had fun, we won, and that's kind of what we're going for.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Halfling Bounder is going to be really important because as long as we clear a side quest, we discard him and we can cancel when revealed. So we do have a way to cancel when revealed effects.
Excellent.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So as long as a couple of those guys are on the table, you can quest of them. And then if you need to get rid of when revealed, you can discard one of them. The side quest I chose was Gather Information.
Because yes.
Because it's the easiest
Of course
one.
you did.
It's free. Get to find a card.
That's an older one, isn't it?
Was it
It goes back.
first one?
I think it's
It goes back
first.
to the Lost Realm.
That's the first one. You could make a case for Scout Ahead,
Yep.
but I kind of get the feeling we're going to need to get our combo pieces up and running.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. Someone had commented to me on a Facebook message that he was surprised. I think it was Buzz Hammond, who I think is OK Targ, I think is his name on this. It's hard to keep track of everybody's 5 or 6 names. And he was like, I'm surprised I don't see more Warden of Healings. But I think between the Wellinghall Preserver helping to heal Ents, the what is it?
Lumbus,
Lembus.
Eorith.
There's a Sylvan. Sylvan Tracker. Sylvan
We got trackers in? Oh, I didn't even see that. Yeah, we do.
So
Look
with
at
3
that.
copies of
Yep.
Sylvan Tracker, hopefully you can get in via the Tree People for free, basically. Well, for 1 if you had Hennemarth or whoever. All your archery damage goes on Sylvans. And because Elrond's in play, you're basically healing 2 damage
nice.
at the end of each round on all the Sylvans. So
Yep.
you can just dump all your archery damage on any Sylvans in play.
Oh, that's great. And I'm seeing Galadrim Healer as well.
Yep. Yeah, so the Warden actually probably isn't going to be that useful between all the other healing. Yeah. Okay, so that I guess I'll go and go through my thought process. So the Ent deck, Biffer's in that deck in case we want to get Treebeard out on round 1, or we just want to pay for an Ent. Denethor, Elrond, Biffer in that deck. So that deck should be good at killing things. So this is the deck with the highest threat, and I would imagine we want to try to get, like, if there's 2 enemies that need to be killed that round, that's the deck you want to have them.
Yes, having trialed this a couple times, if you want to kill stuff, Treebeard is essential to get out, like round 1 or 2.
Yep, and Quick Beam and Furial, and so hopefully this deck will be just pumping out the allies. Ent Draft, and Lembas, Protector of Lorien. I found when I played, I tested this deck. I didn't even put Vilya into play because I just had enough resources to keep playing whatever ally I had in hand.
Right.
And
I did, and I think we ended up with different draws, and I found it more useful than you did based on what you drew.
Yep.
But either way, Protector of Lorien, right? It needs stuff.
Yeah, Protector of Lorien is huge. The next deck, Aragorn.
Chad, may I ask?
Yep.
Chad, can I ask you a question? Unless I'm not looking at the updated, how is it that my deck list I'm looking at was got Arwen in it? Am I looking at the wrong list?
I got 2 copies of Arwen in mine.
Okay. All right.
If you go into the live podcast chat channel, I've got the updated link to the Fellowship.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just so is she in there?
Yeah, she's
I've
in
got
there.
2 Arwen,
2 Arwen,
and 3
Stargazers.
Imladris Stargazers. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And what did you guys already discuss how we snuck those in there? Being spirit.
I mean, Elrond is 13 threat. I mean, if we're gonna bite that bullet, I want to use his abilities.
Yep. And Vilya gives him.
No, that's fine.
Vilya also gives him the spirit resource, so I think we're fine there. Between his innate ability and Vilya's ability. Okay, the next deck is also one of the decks that we'd hope to engage an enemy or 2. Aragorn and Bomber. So, Bomber's a good defender. Aragorn is the only hero with Sentinel.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's going to be rough.
So, the trick is with Aragorn is you want a Burning Brand, you want Protector of Lorien, you want an Ent Draft just to kind of power him up, and then he gets a majority of the Lembas. He's a Lembas fiend. So he defends, maybe takes some damage, he readies with Lembas, he defends again.
Now, we're not going against anything that has condition attachments, right? I'm trying to remember those 2 quests.
Doesn't, yeah, I guess not.
I think we're okay. Okay, good. So we don't need to worry about Athlos.
Right. Or Miner of the Iron Hills.
Yeah.
All right, the next deck is the Trap deck. Damrod and Raziel and Pippin. So Damrod's playing traps, which are going to be huge because they're either going to help us quest or they're going to help us kill. And so this is the attachment-heavy deck, so I put 3 copies of Master of the Forge in there. Anborn to get some traps back. Raziel is the one hero that some guys I didn't think she needed to be in. I wanted somebody else, but they all pushed back and said no, we need Raziel, and I have now come around and agreed that she is going to be good if we can use her twice around, which is where Wingfoot comes in and Doughty Ranger. So I think when we clear gather information, that's the card we're pulling out of that deck. Is the Doughty Ranger. Slap it on Raziel. Give her Wingfoot. She can quest, and then ready, and then defend.
Excellent.
That's my thinking, at least. And then the final...
That's a good idea.
Okay, cool. And then the final
And
deck...
if just to go back, we have 3 times Guardian of Athelion in the Lord Defenders deck, which is an amazing card to put in anything that's running traps, because you can play a trap. Oh, these are in different decks. Okay, so you can still only trap one thing per turn. That's something we might want to think about, because if the person that's playing traps also has the Guardians, you can play a trap, play a Guardian, play a trap, play a Guardian, so on and so forth.
Oh, I see what you're
And
saying.
basically trap multiple enemies per turn, although I'm starting to see why you did it this way. Hey, Daniel.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Dan.
All right, and
What do we got going on?
I'm just going through my thought process for these decks, and then we're going to start editing.
Okay.
And then the final deck is the no engage deck. So Bilbo's helping everybody draw cards. Thurindir helps us find or gather information. He's also questing for 3 once we clear it. And then Haldir can get a little bit of a boost from the Ranger Spheres. But mainly he helps kill enemies that are already in a trap, maybe, with their defenses down. And snipes the little guys. So I think we'll be using him more than we think. Okay, so I've talked a lot already. This was my attempt, and now let's
Go through them.
Let's go through them.
Okay. Hey, I've got some changes already. Some suggestions.
All right.
For the Ents deck, I kind of took that on as my baby a little bit, and Chad and I kind of went back and forth. And what we see is actually pretty close to what I have. One interesting thing about this deck is that this particular one seems to be more about the deck manipulation than the others. We've got Denethor, we've got both Leave No Trace and None Return. Can we play with that? Possibly. I considered Shadow of the Past, which actually might be a good card if we're doing Anduin. If we're doing Escape from Umbar, I don't know. That might be a little shaky. So that'd be a good one to keep out of that quest.
Shadow of the Past.
It's an awesome card, man.
Oh, the one that returns an enemy from the encounter deck.
Returns the top card of the discard pile to the top of the encounter deck.
That's it, right there.
Yeah. So from an Escape from Umbar, kind of so-so. In the earlier quest, it's actually really good. It sucks when you blind Vilya it. It really sucks.
Yeah. Oh, good. Here come the Hummer Horns again.
Yay. So a couple changes. Let's see here. You have 2 times Mirkwood Explorer in here, and that's a good card, man. That's a good card. I didn't put that in mind, but that's a good one.
He's awesome.
I bumped up Gildor and Glory into 2.
Because you're counting on using Vilya more.
I'm
right?
counting on using Vilya more. Yeah.
So you're thinking get the Stargazers out, and then Vilya stuff in.
Yeah, and again, I'm not worried about duplicate uniques because of Protector of Lorien. And Gildor's just a fantastic ally to have.
Oh, yeah.
He's a defender if you need him. He can pitch for 2 attack. That's great.
So what did you cut?
Okay, I have 19 allies. Let me just make another adjustment here. So I added 1 Gildor. I cut 1 Quick Beam. And I also cut 1 Tree. I know. And that was a tough call. I don't know. I'll think about that.
Cut Treebeard?
No, to two of.
Like
I cut
with
1
a
copy
saw?
of Treebeard. Oh yeah.
It's gonna damage our attack quite a bit, but
I cut out Daeron's runes.
See, that's the one I think we could lose Daeron's runes.
Yeah, that's good when you're fishing for something, but we would rather discard our cards to something else.
So what if I cut
I agree
Duran's
with
runes?
I could agree with it. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll throw in a second Gildor. Because now I'm at 48 cards. So you must have other
Yeah.
cards that I don't.
I do. I have a couple. This is optional. I have a couple Cloaks of Lorien.
The Cloaks of Lorien.
And that's just another defense booster.
Mhm.
I also had a
To
couple.
Noldor Sylvan character. Attached character gets +1. Defense +2. If the active location has the Forest trait.
So that would be for Elrond or Rossiel. Again, probably not needed. Elrond is probably not going to be the main defender of this deck.
So, when you have Vilya on Elrond and you're using him all the time,
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not going to be using Cloak.
right, and you don't... I was thinking his 3 willpower is probably going to be a little more handy.
Yeah, I see him questing a lot early game, and then once the ends come out, he
Mike,
can
how
ship
many of
those.
your cards are squandered on a Vilya?
Squandered?
Yeah, there's some that just won't. Like you pull the Vilya and it just won't work.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the Leave No Trace and the
Right.
None Return.
Okay.
So how many dependent on Vilya, right?
So only 6.
There's only 6.
That's not bad. All right.
And those are 6 that, I mean, we have more copies than we could possibly use in our fellowship.
Yep.
I have a couple copies of Burning Brand.
Why do you want that card?
I don't know. I heard it was good.
Is it? Is it good?
I feel like there are plenty in the fellowship right now.
What do we got here? Oh yeah, look at that. There are okay. We can
There's
get your Burning
6.
Brand.
You know what might be good is... Because right now I got rid of those 6 Daron runes, and I have 2 spots available because I added a second Gildor. Is maybe 2 copies, or 1 copy of Asphaleth. Just to get him in, if you happen to find him. But actually, he would be better in a deck that had Master of the Forge, because you might find him quicker.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have. Do you mind saving what you have, and I'll reload?
Yeah.
Fellowship here.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. All right, so you got 2 Arwens. Oh yes. I also put in an extra copy of Furiel,
That makes
and
sense.
again, that's because I want to push this encounter deck manipulation side of things. I'd rather get her out.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And for the last card, I would actually put in an extra Vilya.
An extra what? Oh.
Vilya. Echo.
Okay. Hold on a sec.
Oh,
Oftentimes it defaults me to the right.
right.
Is that better?
Yep, much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking Vilya was the card we would grab with the gather information. Are you worried
Yeah,
you're gonna
I was
lose
thinking
it?
that too. That's exactly it. But that puts us to 50, right?
Yes. You know you're gonna Vilya.
I've done it before.
It's almost guaranteed.
Uh-huh.
That's why the Stargazers. Hopefully, I'll bring them out this time.
All right, I'll save it again. You guys can look at it, and then let me know if we want to make any more changes to that one.
Okay.
I would say that's pretty good on my end. I may just be cheeky add a Shadow of the Past for Anduin. Just bring it up to 51 cards. See if people explode.
Shadow of the Past. What card are you trying to recur in that quest?
Oh, that quest you could recur.
Like the
bunch of
35
the
threat or higher
treacheries.
ones?
Yep.
Yeah, that's okay.
There's a whole bunch that whiff, or a whole bunch that you'd rather see than some of the hard hitters.
All right. So, Mike, you'll be playing that deck on Wednesday?
Sure, why not? I spent enough time on it. I might as well
So when it
suffer
fails
my own
spectacularly,
hands, right?
yeah, all right,
Yeah.
that makes sense. See, I like doing this community deck building because when the decks fail, I could be like, "Well, that's all your guys' fault."
It was perfect until
I had it
changed
perfect, and it got changed.
All right, so let's move over to
The defenders.
lore defenders.
It's really unfortunate that Aragorn's ability is to reduce his threat, but they also want to defend enemies.
Right.
Oh well.
Yeah, I think the main. Well, I don't know. Every deck seems to have a pretty decent defender, with the exception of deck 4, right? So
Yep, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
Denethor can do it.
Yep.
Bomber can take some hits. Rossiel is going to be, I think, the MVP, and then I'll be proven right. Let's see.
And then Aragorn Sentinel defends the other deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So,
Right.
and this Ent deck, which is going to grab the most enemies by like natural means,
Right.
has the best defense anyway.
It does.
That was my thinking.
And Arwen can give Rossiel some Sentinel every time.
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh yes. We didn't
Not-
talk about that, but that's why she's in the deck, is to give it
Yeah.
get another sentinel on the
Right,
table.
and I kind of want to, put my plug in here for why I was against her. She's a late game hero, and I was thinking we needed early game heroes. But I got told
I don't find her to be late game. What do you mean by that? I mean, it takes.
it takes like 3 rounds before you can finally start using her to defend, because you need Arwen out, you need something in the victory display, you need her to quest and defend before she's
that in mind,
firing on all cylinders. So
Do you want her to do both? Yes, but
yeah, I find I only ever use her for defense, and I can get her working turn 1 or 2 because of the card Out of the Wild, which I don't see anywhere.
that's funny because Out of the Wild.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, see
That should be. There should be about 9 of those around.
And people are also saying we need more The Door is Closed.
Really, they want to. Well, now are they saying that because it's awesome, or are they saying it because they want to see it work? 'Cause I'm okay. I'm okay either way. I'm just
Either
curious
way,
what their rationale is.
Right. I think Out of the Wild and None Return are the big ones we need to turn Rossiel on fast.
Yeah, but Out of the Wild costs 3.
It does. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's in the deck
See,
with the hobbits,
it comes down to Gildor's Council or Out of the Wild. I don't know.
if we put
Gildor's
it,
Council's pretty good.
I mean, we could put it in the hobbits deck to help reduce its cost.
Yeah, do you have like good meals? Okay, there they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were to pay for.
I would replace all Gildor's councils in those 2 decks with Out of the Wild.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh my.
Or I'd replace the Gildor's Council in deck 3 traps and the None Return in deck 4.
What? We need more. We need to make sure we have at least like 5 none returns so we can make sure it triggers.
Oh, sorry, doors closed, I meant.
Well, that's funny because the people in the chat are saying we need more doors closed. Because doors closed comboed with Out of the Wild is money. You find a really crappy encounter card, get rid of it, and then the next time it shows up, you close the door on it.
Well, there could also be stuff that we could cut.
I just think Out of the Wild,
place.
Out of the Wild gets Rossiel working turn 1. That's all. I mean, is it super necessary? Maybe no.
Well, yeah, but you have to. We have to have 3 resources to pay for Out of the Wild.
Understood.
This is the hard part.
Yep.
So now another thing to keep in mind is that the Traps deck already has a card that they're gunning for with Gather Information.
Right.
So if they don't see Out of the Wild, they're not seeing it.
True.
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 Right. And OK Targ is in here. He's saying we could also do I only can see half the chat, so it's hard for me to read these. Another option.
Yeah,
is to
sorry, I
put
couldn't do Twitch. I can't see the. I can't help you out.
We put the side quest in. That's the one that adds it to the victory display. What's that one? Secret paths? No. I can't think of it off the top of my head. What's side quest? This do.
Oh, he's talking
Scout ahead.
about
Scout ahead.
Scout ahead.
That's it.
Secret paths.
Scout
Yeah.
ahead is 4. So that's another 4.
Talking about Scout.
To scout ahead, when the stage is defeated, we search the top X cards and put one non-objective card worth no victory
Ahead, the
points
one where
in
you-
the victory display, and then we put the remaining cards back in any order. So we'd get to look at 5 cards. Decisions.
So, I lost you guys for a couple seconds there. What did we decide?
Yeah, I lost it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we all got. I got
Oh.
booted too.
There
Oh,
was a shutdown.
am I still on?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. I was just reading the text on Scout Ahead.
It's I don't think that's the one that someone's talking about in terms of side quests.
Yeah.
About explore secret ways.
I think it's Secret Ways, or that one.
No. Explore Secret Ways is the one about the active location not contributing its threat. Scout Ahead's the
Scout
one.
Ahead put something in the victor display. Yeah.
Scout Ahead puts
Yeah.
it in the victory display. Mike, all of a sudden you're really quiet.
Whoa.
Barely audible, Mike.
How am I now?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Weird.
Okay, so when I was playtesting, I had no problem filling up the victory display as is, but it doesn't mean we can modify how we get cards into the victory display.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So the doors closed is awesome because, you just cancel any card that comes out. We kill the cave troll and then later on he shows up again, close the door on him.
And I should point out that it cancels its effects completely.
Yep.
Surge everything.
Yep. So it's good. It is very good. Gildor's Council is even better because you don't even see a card. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything prior to get that to kick
But that
off.
also is $3, which was your main complaint for Out of the Wild.
Right, so that's what Good Meal was paying for. So I think we need one or the other. So maybe we reduce the Gildor Councils and put Out of the Wilds in, and keep it
I'm a fan of that.
keep it at a 3-to-3 ratio. So 3 Good Meals and then 3 Gildor Councils / Out of the Wilds.
That's fair.
I think it'd be all right.
The Great Compromise. I'm not.
I'm only running the encounter deck that night, so it doesn't matter.
Well, the problem is there's too many good cards.
Yep.
Out of the Wild
Yeah.
is just as good as Gildor's Council, and you can't have a ton of both.
Right.
So it's like, all right, which one's better? I don't know. They're both pretty good. So let's do 2 in this one.
Isn't the main hiccup of this entire fellowship that it's just so expensive?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Lore costs more than any other
Yep.
sphere.
Which is why Keen as Lances is gonna be
It'll save you.
huge. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 in one in one deck, and then 1 and 2 in the other deck.
But the slowdown for the first person to play that is not insubstantial,
1 and 2. So I gotta do
right?
2 Gildors.
Yeah.
So
Where am I? Here. Okay, this one. 2 and 1. Okay, got it. Save. I got too many I got too many things open now. I'm going to close some windows because I'm starting to get confused. Close. 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 Refresh. Okay. So we have added 3 Out of the Wilds to the Fellowship, and we have dropped 3 Gildor Councils.
I would be okay dropping one of my end moods for Gildor's Council.
Oh, that'd be a good Vilya, wouldn't it?
It would. And Entmoot's good, but
Entmoot.
if I want to pay things with Vilya, I mean, assuming I get it out and all that, then Entmoot's not great because I don't necessarily want them in my hand.
You said Out of the Wild or Gildor's Council? What did you say?
Oh, Gildor's Council.
G. There it is. Got it. Got it.
Excellent.
Okay. So, Protector of Lorien, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we have 11. Which is good.
And I'm good with that. Yep.
That is a good card. Thor's Map, I have 2 copies of. Why not?
Yeah, it's
Rodar.
a great one.
Stokes Books, why don't you put all in... God, why? I don't know why my window is...
He says, why don't you put all the Gildors in one basket, smoosh the trap deck into the encounter deck, scrying deck, and throw a Palantir in?
A Palantir. Because I'm not necessarily scrying.
Who would be the noble person to take it? It would have to be...
It'd have to be Denethor
Or Elrond.
or Elrond. But then you lose your scrying, right? Because Denethor is your noble.
Right.
Palantir requires you to exhaust.
Right.
So I'm not putting it on Elrond.
The Palantir cannot go in the Denethor Elrond deck. That guy would threat out on turn 3.
I don't think we have any more nobles.
No. Is Aragorn a noble in this one? Nope.
No, he isn't.
Loragorn is not.
So Stokes is
And
saying...
unfortunately, you don't get that action window after Furiel.
Right. Put all in one basket. Smoosh to track deck. Swap Denethor and Raziel. Nope, then we can't run 12 copies of Lembas. And we have to have 12 copies of Lembas.
Yeah, and Denethor just sits really well in this deck.
That was the problem I kept running into, Stokes, was trying to keep a Noldor or a Sylvan in each deck to get the Lembas, because it is literally the only way to ready anybody. So what's Stokes?
And this way
what's your thought process of why you want smoosh the trap deck into the encounter scrying deck?
But the encounter scrying deck is already smushed into an end deck. We don't want to spread it out in too many different directions.
I mean, there's only so much encounter scrying we can do, right? Because you're only going to see like 1 card or something, and we're revealing 4. Do we have more ways of seeing multiple cards? I don't think so.
Scout Ahead would be the other one.
Right. Another side
But
quest.
that's a one of, isn't it? Limit 1 in the victory display.
Scout Ahead?
Yeah.
The side quest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. Trying to choose between Gather Info and Scout Ahead is hard.
Oh yeah.
Because Gather Info is going to get Vilya out. It's going to get the Doughty Ranger out. It could actually pull from one of the other decks, either like, I I think I only have one copy of Henemarth for that reason, just so we can start doing tree people with him. Pocket Wraith, hello. Scout ahead is limit 1. Thank you. Run both. Ah, I know.
Yeah, there's too many good cards. There's way too many good cards.
Stokes book. If you put the scrying and the... Oh, this is driving me nuts that my... Because I have to look at it like this, so this is why. Stokes, you put the scrying and the traps together for interrogation, lets you stack the encounter deck how you want. Oh, I see, okay. So you guys in the chat are thinking we have time to do 2 side quests?
In Escape from Umbar, we might not, actually. In fact, we might have trouble gather information out.
What does the chat...
That'll throw side quests in there, too.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, there are.
There's side quests in Escape from Umbar as well.
Right. What does the chat think? Which side quest is better for this fellowship? Scout ahead or gather info? So we'll see what the chat says. I can totally see reasons for both. I think I'm leaning towards gather info. Rodar's asking, is the Scroll of Isildur in the Aragorn deck to recur the Evening Star? I find it works better on Pippin, Good Meal, Gildor's Council.
Let's see here. Well, the interesting thing about Scroll of Isildur is that you can... What is it?
Yeah, it's actually on any... It can go on any hero.
If you Scroll of Isildur the Evening Star, do you get to put 8 progress down?
As if it was in your hand? I don't think so.
Oh, no.
No, it's not in the discard pile.
I think because Scroll of Isildur is unique, I just threw it in a deck that had a Master of the Forge to try to find it. And then whoever had a good event in their discard pile that they wanted to recur, that deck would play it on one of the heroes for that deck. So they could recur the event. So it could totally be used to play another Gildor's Council. Like if we play Gildor's Council, you draw another Good Meal, and you're like, hey, I have Scroll of Isildur, let me give it to you, and you can play Gildor's Council again. Okay. Gather. I like Scout ahead. Alright, so that's 1 vote for each. Awesome! What do you guys think? Dave, Mike, Dan?
I say gather.
I really like gather information.
The only reason I say gather is because it lets us limit cards and therefore put better cards in. Because now we have 1 of Doughty Ranger, 2 of Vilya. But man, Scout ahead, that's 8 cards.
8 cards?
Yep.
8 cards.
Oh, number of players plus 4.
Plus 4.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Because, when I added 4 plus 4, I got 5. Because I'm an idiot.
Does that change your answer?
For some reason, I was thinking it was... no. I mean, you look at 5 cards, you're going to find a card you hate. You look at 8 cards, you're going to find a card you hate. You can plan your... Well, every time we try to plan... That turn ends up taking an hour, because then you try to plan your whole questing and your shadows, and then you do it wrong. There is no Savage South in the 2 quests we're playing, Rodar. We're going to play Escape from Umbar and Journey Along to Anduin. I agree. Doors Closed would, though. If we could get it in the encounter deck with Out of the Wild. Also, Halfling Bounder would cancel Savage South.
That's going to be your MVP probably that night.
Oh,
those flipping bounders. All those bounders.
I would love it if Hobbit's the MVP.
I do like the optimism here, Chad, with only 2 Warden of Healing.
We discussed that before you came on.
Yeah, I like it.
We got 12 Lembas. We have 3 Sylvan Trackers. I'm pretty sure Yorith is in here. Yep, she's in there. And we have 3 Welling Hall Preservers.
And 2 Galadrim Healers.
Oh, and 2 Galadrim healers. So
Yeah, we're fine.
that's a lot of healing.
Now, Umbar is going to be tough because it's going to be minimum second turn by the time we can even attempt to gather information.
All right. OK Targ is saying, Tom makes a good point about the Singleton of Villia, but the best way to do... It's just so dumb it cuts it off when I have it on that screen.
But the best way to do that is to make 1 space in the Therindir deck for Scout Ahead and or that Search for Side Quest attachment, perhaps at the expense of Mithrandir's advice. Says OK Targ.
Well, okay, so that's interesting because Mithrandir's advice is partially in there to fuel Protector of Lorien, but he makes a good point in that deck is the one that doesn't need to fuel Protector.
We're talking about the... I'm looking at the wrong deck. Elrond deck.
Yeah. We're looking at No Engage.
We're talking about the Trap deck. No? Aren't we?
Oh, Therindir deck.
I'm sorry. No Engage. Therindir.
Yep. Sorry. My bad.
Bilbo can be a decent defender in a pinch with Protector, but that's...
Yeah, I think... Protector of Lorien was probably going to go on Therindir for questing, but with all these allies, I could see not running 3 copies of it for sure. Let's go to that deck.
Well, can you sideboard in a lot more side quests for when you get to Anduin?
Sure, well, we could.
Yeah, why not?
Because, I mean, I just don't think you're going to have time to side quest at all and escape from Umbar.
If we make a really wicked first turn push, we can.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the changes he just said just to look at it. So if we get rid of the Protector of Loriens and we throw in okay, so now we need the event that finds it. Was it the road goes ever on and on or something like that?
Yeah.
Nope. That's
OK Targ followed up. Chad, OK Targ followed up with, let me try to be more clear. Tom is right that Gather's the best side quest in general, since it frees up deck slots for other things. Example, 1 Villia is like 2 deck slots. So why not add 1 Scout Ahead just in case? It will be quite good in Anduin, which is, what I was saying. All right.
I think Scout Ahead would be good in any if we can get it to go off.
What's the name of this card? I thought it was
the road goes ever on.
Oh, it's an attachment. I'm looking at events. Good lord.
It's a song.
There it is.
Man, I gotta make a song deck.
Do we want 3 copies of that? It costs 0, which is nice. And then it
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who Tom is either, but he sounds like a really smart guy. I don't know who Tom is.
I think he means Took.
Oh.
Hey, Tom.
Hi.
Guess whose name is Tom.
I'll add it to the list of names. I'm thinking because it's Umbar, we don't want the road goes ever on.
I don't think you want that either because don't you have what's the thing you attach to a quest card? What's Thirindir's special thing where you attach it to a quest card and
well, Thirindir doesn't have anything. He just lets you find one.
Right, but isn't there a card that you attach to quests and then like once it's over, someone can go and have one player search his deck for another side quest?
Yeah, that's road goes ever on.
Yeah, but OK Targs, he's got I don't want to put 3 copies in, and he's got a good point. We use gather information to find Scout Ahead for that deck. Because really, this deck of all of them doesn't have a card we're really digging for.
Right. You know what? I'm okay putting in the 1 copy Scout Ahead. I mean, it's a good enough card that it's worth it. If we're never going to use it, again, it's protector fodder. But it gives us the option.
Yep. So the Long Defeat is a card he's bringing up now, and that is one I wanted to put in there somewhere. That and Fast Hitch. I don't have any Fast Hitch, but I don't think we'll need Bilbo to defend. The Long Defeat is an amazing card.
Great card.
The Long Defeat.
Hmm.
So it's more healing, and it's grabbing 2 cards.
So what do we take out?
I don't have to take out anything because I took out 3 copies of Protector. So I threw in 1 copy of Scout Ahead. Here, I'll save it so you can see.
Wait a minute. Why would we really need the Long Defeat if we've already talked about how our healing is set and it's lore, so card draw is fine?
Well, I mean, you can always draw more cards. Because if we're doing Protector of... because if you're doing Protector of Lorien over and over, you tend to run out.
Okay. I mean, you got 37,000 Keena's Lances in the Fellowship.
For resources.
For whatever.
Keen Lances,
for whatever.
I think Keen Lances is almost always going to be used for resources. Or threat reduction. I don't know. I'm open to... I mean...
It just seems like it gives and gives to the thing that lore already does.
All right, so instead of the Long Defeat...
Okay, here's an option. What if we did the Long Defeat instead of Legacy of Durin?
Legacy of Durin? Where are you?
Yeah.
Which quest are you...
I'm looking at the Lord Defenders deck, and I'm seeing Legacy of Durin. And my rationale is that by the time you have 5 dwarves on the table, you've only got 5 more dwarves in your deck.
Legacy of Durin triggers with any amount of dwarves. You're thinking of the Ori, or
I am
the hero.
Correct, I am. Never mind.
Yeah, and see, Pocket Wraith is bringing up a point. I actually don't have a lot of card draw in these decks, other than Mithrandir's Advice. I mean, besides,
we had the
Pocket
Wraith.
Wraith,
Darren.
You got to remember. Yeah, we got rid of Darren's Runes, but Master of Forge, Pocket Wraith. Master of Forge is card draw. Tree People's card draw.
Pippin, Damrod.
Entmoot, Keena's Lances.
Entmoot, the Lances.
These aren't C-stand levels of card draw, but they're card draw.
Yeah. Gather information if we want to be technical.
The entire deck.
The entire deck just draws itself. Yay! I guess.
Well, he had that one deck that was half card draw, and he was so excited that he could put Kalial in there for that extra piece in thought, and he ended up he made changes to put even more card draw in there. Like, holy crap, that guy.
Well, C-Stand's decks are good.
He's got his playstyle.
Well, what it is he's got if I can get these 15 cards into play, the deck will smash anything.
Exactly.
So he just plans on a way to get those 15 cards into play, and then he's good to go.
Yeah, he's the combo piece guy.
That and I find too much card draw actually limits you from doing useful things.
Yeah. I got to run, guys, but I'll stay in touch on the decks.
Awesome.
And when we're gonna actually give this a run.
Okay, sounds good, Dave H.
All right, thanks for the invite.
Have a good one.
Take
Yep.
care.
Bye.
See ya.
See you in a
Bye,
week.
guys. Sounds good.
All
Okay,
right.
so instead of the Long Defeat, which is a great card, but we might not need it, that frees up 2 spots. Because I got rid of Protector of Lorien. Put in 1 copy of Scout Ahead. Does this one have the doors closed? Yeah, it already does. We could put in another Henemarth to try to find him quicker. This also could have. It's got the Ranger Spear already. What is? We could put in that one. Well,
What's that mono lore card?
the one that. Well, it only triggers if you never engage an enemy, which really sucks.
Isn't there another one?
Advanced warning is play if every hero has the lore resource, and then until the end of the. Oh no, it's not. Until the end of the phase, enemies do not make engagement checks. That's not bad. We should do. Don't be hasty. No, I'm kidding. What are some ones? Quick Ears just basically replaces itself. The end comes.
That can only go in that dwarf deck.
I'm joking.
You know,
Why would
there
we-
is Secret Paths. It's a decent card.
There's also Houses of Healing. Should we throw at least one copy in of Houses of Healing?
What about
Gosh, here.
Bayorn's Hospitality?
It's an event, right?
Yeah.
Cost of 5.
Cost 5.
Heal all damage on each hero controlled by that player. Yeah, I don't know about that.
What does Houses of Healing do? I've never seen it.
It
It costs
Fortune or Fate
5.
for
You
lore.
can bring back a hero from a discard pile,
Oh.
reducing cost by exhausting healers.
Well, maybe we should just not die, and then we won't need that.
That's what Stokes is
Just
saying.
saying. Yeah,
Well-
Stokes is right.
I remember I did lose a hero last time I tested my deck, but Sword Thane was my answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
He's made another hero. Let's see. Shortcut? No. I mean, you can throw your Asphalloth in there.
That's a good idea. Let's put 2 copies of Asphalloth. Even though there's no Master of the Forge, but it could still be good.
Chris Jackson asked a good question. Do they have Hammersmith to bring Lembas back?
Yes.
Yes is the answer.
We have 3 copies of Hammersmith.
Oh, you know. Mablong's not doing a whole lot in my deck.
He could throw an enemy into a trap.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That is good.
I mean, I'm just saying why
Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty good reason.
he's a decent guy. It's not amazing, but you can.
Well, he's really good with interrogation on the table, right? Because then you could pick and choose
Mhm.
which enemy gets tagged.
Actually, more copies of Interrogation might not be bad. Maybe
Yeah.
That's what I should. I'll make it 1 Asphalloth just in case we find it, and then 3 copies of Interrogation. I had 3 copies, and then I cut it down to put something else in because I really. Interrogation would be a good one to have the scroll pulled back.
Why don't you have Forest Patrol anywhere?
Forest Patrol. Oh, the one that deals damage to enemies and traps?
Yeah.
Yep, I had that in there, and I had to cut it to make room for other things. So if we could figure out where to put it.
Well, do you need all those forest snares? They're pretty expensive, and you have a lot of other cheaper traps. I mean, that deck has 5, 8,
So you want
11 traps anyway.
to get rid of a trap to put in an event that triggers.
Well, you have 14 traps in that deck, Chad, as it stands.
So Forest
Yeah, I
Patrol is play if you only control at least 1 Ranger character. Deal 3 damage to an enemy with at least 1 trap card. Which, that card's awesome because you trap it in the staging area with something like, I don't know, one of the crappier traps, and then you can just kill it.
There's a couple really nasty enemies in Umbar that I wouldn't mind snaring, but there's also a lot of archery.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me save the deck I was working on. And then I'll go to the trap deck. Edit. So if we drop Forest Snare to like 1, maybe just a snare or something, and we throw in Forest Patrol, reduces the cost curve of that deck, which is good. Okay, I did it. There's now 2 copies of Forest Patrol and 1 copy of what the hell was I just talking about? Forest Snare. Actually, Daniel, that's a good idea because that's also the deck that has Out of the Wild and Gildor's Council. So anything we can do to reduce the cost of everything else to help pay for those expensive events might be a key play.
Why is he not gloating that he was right?
Shock. Daniel's right.
He's silent.
Oh, I just walked back in. What happened?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It wasn't important.
It's all right. It's all right, man.
Was I right or was I wrong? What happened?
I believe Chad's exact words were, Daniel, that was the smartest idea ever.
It was pretty close to it. You missed it.
Damn it.
I gave you like a huge compliment, and I'm like, wow, he's not saying anything back. Okay, well, whatever.
Thank you.
There you go. I just saved the deck. You could see what I did. Oh, that's
Right.
funny. That's funny as hell. We're like, why isn't Daniel saying anything?
Yeah, I just ran out to grab a beer. Sorry.
Right. Oh, okay. That's a good excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we're making some pretty good progress. Now we can edit decks for hours. So I think at 9 o'clock, which is in 7 minutes, we're gonna call it good.
Where did you put the Forest Patrol?
In the trap deck.
2 copies.
I'm not. Let's see.
You probably have to refresh it.
Yep. There it is. Cool.
Envoy of Peligir. What's your rationale there?
Say it again.
Envoy of Peligir was... I was thinking...
Oh, you were thinking of another way to give resources to get Treebeard out, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. So it could send resources over to the Elrond deck, and she's cheap.
All right.
Or you just discard her if you can't. If you can't afford her, it's Protector of Lorien discard.
Yep.
I mean, I think I had 2 spots, and I was trying to put more allies in that deck, figuring it was going to be engaging more enemies, and if we needed to chump or... I don't know. I'm not married to her.
I think it's decent to put in. I don't think any more dwarves are vying for that spot.
Nobody's somebody because every other ally you have there, you're going to want to play in front of her.
Just like that barrel.
Like, you got $2. Are you really going to play her before the Bounder or the Master of the Forge? Or
Pocket Wraith is saying... What did Stokes Book say about Pocket Wraith? I'd probably throw in a couple of Robin Smallborough somewhere because 2 for 2. Yep, he's good.
Yeah, the 2 for 2 is good.
All right, let's drop the Envoy. What'd Stokes say? I can only read half.
Do they have Hammersmith to bring Lemons back? Stokes says that's only going to work on turn 2 because that's the only time you'll go before deck 1.
Huh?
Oh, well, it could help pay for an event or something. But hey, a new person, King of Reines.
King of Rains?
Rains?
King of Rains.
Rains. Hi.
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 Oh, we are using RingsDB. www.ringsdb.com.
Friends it is.
Ah, from Overwatch. Okay. All right. Envoy of Peligir is bye-bye. Robin Smallborough. Mike, your turn.
Robin Smallborough. I can't do that. I can't do the R's.
Daniel?
Robin Smallborough. How's that?
Stargazer.
Or is it Smallborough?
Smallborough. Like that. Then you can say it however you want. All right, so I dropped the envoys and added Robin. Hubbit. Sheriff. So he's just, he's literally 2 for 2. That's all he's going to be doing. Although technically Elrond, once he gets Vilya, could actually trigger that.
Can't, nope, he can only, oh yeah, once he has Vilya, he could. Look at that. That's fascinating.
King of Rains, I hate to say it, we were going to quit this at 9. If you're just joining, what we're going to be doing is planning a 4-player fellowship of all lore, obviously. And tonight we were just doing some deck building, which hasn't been done on COTR before, but some people expressed some interest in helping us try to make this crazy experiment work.
Stokes book, who is Prince Valium? Is that Tom?
Yeah. That's funny. All right. Well.
Oh, me? Oh, man. All right.
Okay. I think we're
All right. I have one last question.
Yep.
What do people think about a copy of Light of Valinor? Just curious what the chat says.
Oh, that's so cheating.
No. No. We're not doing that.
No?
Before Stokes
All
even
right.
says it, no.
Well, we know Stokes is going to say no.
Because that, to me, is you're playing a key spirit card to get the advantage of the key spirit card, even though it's not specifically made for any one of our heroes.
Okay.
And it's going to be...
Yeah, I never threw it in, but...
no
yeah.
Mirkwood Pioneers. Mirkwood Pioneers.
I thought there were. I thought I saw a few.
I thought... Oh, I have
Mirkwood
Mirkwood Explorers. Did I forget
Explorer.
the Mirkwood Pioneers? Maybe I was thinking of this dude. The Aaron Galland Settler. Aaron Gallad? Gallan? Whatever.
Aaron Gallant Settler. Yeah,
The
he's
Woodman.
good.
Pioneer, Doomed 1, when you play it from your hand, if you do, it gains. After you play Pioneer, choose a card in the staging area until the end of the round. That card does not contribute as threat. That's a nice card.
Rodar is bringing up a good point, but Arwen made the cut?
Well, yeah, did you guys talk about that before I jumped on? Because I think that's cheating.
We did.
But see, Elrond
a
can pay for
Sentinel.
But Elrond can pay for allies.
It's more or less the same logic we used with the tactics thing, right?
It's a guideline.
Because I mean, technically, with Vilya, we could put any card we want. We could put Bjorn in his deck.
Yes.
Yeah, so we limited it to what was on Elrond's card as opposed to what's on the attachment. I mean, yeah, this gives him some spirit, but yeah.
Yeah.
We have one Sentinel Defender.
Well, we do have 3 Defender of the Naifs.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe we can cut the Stargazer for...
No!
My
Stargazer!
I mean, that's kind of cheaty. Arwen's at least like Elrond's daughter. I could see why she's tagging along, but I mean, really.
Whoops, what's going on?
No, well, the discussion, like if we axe Stargazer, then we're changing the deck a lot. Like we might as well cut Vilya, we might as well cut Sword Thane. we end up remaking the deck.
Yeah, the King of Rains is, where do you draw the line? It's tough because we're trying to do mono lore, but Elrond's ability lets him pay for any ally.
Yeah, and I maintain that 13 threat gives us something.
And then Vilya gives him the, Vilya gives him the spirit resource. So technically we could throw a ton of spirit cards in there.
We limited it to 5 just to not be jerks about it.
Okay, Mirkwood Pioneer. I kind of missed it. What's he do?
You play him from your hand, and you choose a card in the staging area. And for Doomed 1, that card does not contribute its threat.
Could be great.
I say let's throw him in, just because it's mono lore, and it's kind of fun to see how many different cool mono lore cards we get. So let's get rid of... Well, Robin Smallborough is unique. What else could we get rid of? It could go... Well, you'd want to play it from your hand, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to Vilya it in. Mirkwood Explorer. Where do you think it should go? Who was asking about it?
Okay, Targ wants it, so he should be the one. There it is. The problem with the mono lore is questing, and Pioneer is a pretty okay burst quester.
Okay, I totally agree. Let's figure out where we're gonna throw them in.
We could throw a copy in lore and defenders and a copy in traps, and then just have 51 card decks.
Oh, that's the cheaty way. But technically, with Gather Info, we're kind of, pulling out a card right away to make it back down to 50. Second, Robin Smallborough. Okay, got it. I'll do that.
That makes some sense.
I'll drop a Smallborough. Whoops. Now he's really small. Robin, even smaller barrow. What's going on here? Edit. There it goes. Robin Smallborough goes down to 1. Mirkwood Pioneer. There it is. Okay, that's our final. Oh, that's the one that the Grey Company previewed, right? Yeah. That's a cool. It's a fun thing. All right. Okay, so.
I hope so. Okay, Targ, that would be fun. He says, I can't wait till next week when this guy wins the quest on his own.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay, so speaking of next week, Monday is my mom's 60th birthday party, so I am not going to be able to Twitch. And
I'm not even home that day.
Let's see.
I thought you said it was a Wednesday.
What? The twitching?
Yeah.
Okay, so we might be able to make that work.
The last one was Wednesday.
Right. So we might be able to make that work because I think the guys are planning on recording the next podcast episode on Friday. They've changed the day. We were talking about it, and people's schedules keep getting conflicted. So I think it's on Friday now.
Okay.
So I might be able to make Wednesday work.
Okay. I'm a little flexible if it comes to it.
Okay.
Tuesday onwards.
Daniel?
Yeah, either of those days is fine.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Dave H is free. So that is 3 of us for sure. Okay. Well, this was a lot of fun. I don't know if anyone else had fun, but I had fun. I like this.
I love this doing this. This is really cool.
And I like the way it turned out. I think
As an
people had some
exercise.
really good suggestions.
Yep.
Yeah, so now we all have a part in this when we lose. And if we win, it's all me.
Yep, I think that's totally right. That's how I was going to play the tactics one.
That was perfect. All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining, and I hope everyone had a great time. Thank you to my special guests that joined with me, Daniel, Mike, and Dave. And thank you, everybody in the chat. If you want to see more COTR, join the Twitter account at COTR Podcast, Facebook, Discord, and the website and the podcasts. Thank you, everybody, and good night.